Hello, and welcome to another Nimble video tutorial. So it's been a few weeks since I've been able to create a video. I was sick over the past couple weeks. I didn't have a voice, so I wasn't unable to record, but I got a lot to show, and I hope you enjoy it. I believe I left off with Nimble adding the ability to create packages and package your project files for distribution. I have completed that feature in its entirety. I have allowed the packaging of front-end and back-end source files, and I even added a pretty nice support feature as well. So let's get into it. The enhancement was able to create two buttons, the import package and remove package. By selecting the file, the .web file, it will allow you to add and remove any packages that you have brought into your project. The package tab now allows you to create a package from your project files, and I also added a new feature that will, what it's called select package. And what that means is whenever you create one, you also get a .pkg file of all your selections. You do not have to distribute the PKG file, but it'll allow you to maintain what selections you made for each package. If you want to increase or remove files from a package, you'll be able to make sure you don't miss anything whenever you start to create new versions of packages. And without further ado, I'll let you see what I built. I spent some time creating a lot of Common Dialog folders, Common Dialog dialog files. These files are things that are reusable within any project. You've probably seen them in any operating system. I have very similar dialogs that pop up in Nimble for example, like a message box or confirmation box. So I decided to package them all up, create a working factory so that you can launch them at any time, and then it'll be reusable and distributable within any new project that I create with Nimble. This is a select box, just a simple drop down. The CM question dialog is where you would ask a question within the message dialog and then allow the user to prompt yes or no. I added a color palette so that you can ask the user to select a color or implement a color palette with a selector within your project easily. The standard message box, it pops up and you just prompt the user to select OK. A list box that also works the same way as your select. It's just instead of being a drop down, it's just all the list elements. A user input dialog. Of course, you know, the file explorer is now complete. I'm going to demonstrate or demo this for you today, as well as step through a few of these Common Dialog Controls. And last but not least, I added a calendar dialog. You can't see the elements because I don't have actually captions put on them, but these are where the calendar dates would appear. So if I build this project, you'll get a chance to see all of these common dialogues in action. I'll run this locally. When this application starts, it's going to launch the file dialog or explorer. It will probably be a delay because it has to spin up the Heroku server that it's running on. Yeah, there's a delay. And once the server is up, you'll see we have a fully cleared file drive. Any folders that I previously created are wiped out, as you know, once Heroku spins down your server. What was added to this guy, you can now right click, build a folder, add a text file. You can copy from D to E. You can see I have 2 copies. We will move this guy with a cut. And basically, you just have a file folder, or just like a Windows Explorer, all working with a microservice. But that wasn't all I created. As I said, I have the ability to have a calendar control. I'm going to show you the calendar control. Simply with one command, you have access to a calendar. When you select a date, it will initiate the callback function that you've set to this this show option. It works like any calendar. You can just change dates and years, and the calendar will adjust. Oops, sorry. We can change this to March. Once you select a date, the callback function is called, and you get the status as well as the data that was selected, which is of course the date. I also have a sample of the color palette. It works pretty much the same way. These are all common controls that you can initialize. Each common control, when you show the controller dialog, you can send it a series of options that will control the title, caption, the placement, and size of the dialog where you want to use it. So that way, anywhere in your application, you can initialize these dialogs. Use them as you see fit to collect the data you want to collect. Once you close the dialog, the callback is triggered and you get the data that you were looking for. Just as within Nimble, any file, if I open up this file system to give you a look, my color dialog is right there being initialized. So the same way I used the color dialog within Nimble, I can package these type of functionality and reuse them at any time with any other apps. I think it really came together nicely. The new buttons will make things easier for me to package and redistribute source files. And I'm really happy the way this came together. I'm no longer sick. I'm back in action. The Nimble solution is still moving forward. Thank you for watching.